What up, boxing world? Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi post-fight. Danny Garcia won TKO on the 9th round. My prediction on this was a knockout on the 6th round or less. But Malignaggi eluded, obviously, some big shots from Garcia and managed to go all 9 rounds. Now, I believe that had the referee Mercante, that is, not stopped the fight, he would have got knocked out anyways. You know, he was getting a lot of hits. Malignaggi was getting a lot of hits. You know what I mean? Malignaggi started to do some pot shots just to slow down Garcia, but Garcia's jabs were pretty accurate. There's a big cut above his right eye, below Malignaggi's right eye. That thing was bleeding all over the place. I thought that Malignaggi came out on the first round very aggressive, you know, just to test the waters, sort of, you know, kind of stuff. And Garcia took it very easy, you know, very lightly. He studied Malignaggi as the rounds went on, especially at on the second round and on. I thought that Danny Garcia boxed pretty well, jabbed pretty well, and his footwork was also good. So, with that said, I think that Malignaggi needs to retire. He's done. You know what I mean? On the other hand, we got a fresh blood at welterweight, Danny Garcia. Everybody's already eyeballing him. Thinks Luke Keith's one-time tournament on the ringside, and so there's a lot of welterweights that watch the fight. Now, Danny Garcia's performance against Paulie Malignaggi was not necessarily sensational. He took it easy. He got the job done. He did land some good shots against Malignaggi. Didn't knock him down. Didn't knock him out, obviously. But I believe Danny Garcia needs another fight before actually fighting a really solid guy like Keith one-time Thurman, you know, Kell Brook, Mayweather potentially if he doesn't retire, Manny Pacquiao, American. Oh, American already fought him. I think he needs to fight somebody like. Well, I can't really say that Shawn Porter is less solid, but I believe he's got a better chance, in my opinion, against Shawn Porter rather than fighting Keith Thurman right after Paulie Malignaggi, if that makes sense. Now, Danny Garcia's performance and induction sort of at 147 didn't have any difference how he performed at 140. As a matter of fact, he looked lighter to me, and he threw more punches at 140 than what he did tonight. But then again, he was trying to test the waters at 147, got it. Now, Danny Garcia's father, Angel Garcia, was somewhat irritated, you know, on the ringside, because he wanted Garcia to throw more solid punches, solid straight punches, rather than jabs. I think Danny Garcia knew that, you know, obviously we've seen a lot of fights lately, and there's nothing but careless and results in knockouts. But I think Danny Garcia knows that he can't make a mistake. You know, Paulie Malignaggi, yes, doesn't really necessarily have a punching power. I mean, he's got what, 7 KOs in his belt. Got it. But anything can happen, right? It could be some retard mistake that Garcia could make, then gets knocked out. So he was very cautious fighting Malignaggi. You guys can see that. You know, very cautious. When I was watching it, you know, first, second, third round, I was like, Garcia's, you know, he really is very cautious. You know, I mean, he was throwing some punches, and I can see that. You know, every time Malignaggi lands a jab or something like that, or a pot shot, then Garcia would retaliate. You know, he knows the point system. You know, you can tell. So he wants to win. You know, but he was taking it easy, and I think Garcia's mindset was, if the knockout comes, then it comes. But I'm not gonna rush and get careless, especially, you know, my first fight at 147, and get careless and lose. You know, that wouldn't be a good thing. Anyway, I thought Danny Garcia did okay. not necessarily perform very good. You know what I mean? Not like that. He performed good. He did okay against Paulie Malignaggi, but we'd like to see Danny Garcia fight, you know, somebody that's more solid than Malignaggi. I would like to see him with Sean Porter. That I think that would be a great fight for him. Keith one time told him, was calling him out. You know, if Al Heyman, you know, make it happen, then they can fight as early as late this year or early next year. But I don't think that would be a good fight for Garcia yet. You know, 2 undefeated champs. You know, it's a lot to risk there. Now, Al Heyman, he's not gonna risk to fight both of his undefeated fighters, you know, yet. You know what I'm saying? They're money makers right now. You know, every time an undefeated fighter fights, it's almost like a pay-per-view sensation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, obviously this was on PBC, but what I'm trying to say is it's almost guaranteed that it's gonna sell out. You know what I'm saying? Or be advertised. You know, he's not gonna risk 2 undefeated fighters, like I said, Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, as of yet. You know, not yet. You know, I believe that Garcia would be fighting somebody that has a loss in the wrestling. You know what I mean? A rematch with Amir Khan, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's gonna be somebody with a loss. I mean, Pacquiao. I mean, and I'm just kidding. I don't think Garcia would be aiming for Pacquiao as yet. But it could happen. It could happen. Pacquiao is actually off topic here, but Pacquiao is actually being talked to fight Terence Crawford. But Danny Garcia's performance tonight was okay. I thought it was all right, but can't really make a conclusion, a determination on how he performed tonight, because it was Paulie Malignaggi. Now, I can see that Garcia could be smart. You know what I'm saying? He could be smart inside the ring. He did, you know, took his time. He jabbed well, which is good. As far as punching powers there, I mean, he landed a lot on Paulie Malignaggi's face. And Malignaggi didn't get knocked down. So I question his punching power a little bit. I mean, he was, like I said, he's now fighting at 147. There's a big difference. You know, when Broner fought at 140 and fought at 147, he found out real quick, you know, how some of these 147 guys, especially the solid guys like Maidana, you know, can take punches and can land punches, you know. So I think Danny Garcia needs to hone his skills more at 147 by fighting semi-solid fighters, you know, not as of Keith one-time Thurman yet, even though Thurman would love that fight, you know. I mean, he's been saying it on the ringside on the interview prior to the fight. Obviously, he wants that fight because he knows he can beat Garcia. Now, I wouldn't just say that Garcia is gonna lose automatically, but I think if Thurman and Garcia fights, then that Keith Thurman would be heavy, very heavy favor against Garcia. Seeing the facts of how he performed tonight. But like I said, I mean, anything can happen in boxing, you know. Garcia did well tonight. You know, he got the W, and that's what he wanted. You know, first fight at 147, he won. Should have been. Man, I think that fight with Malignaggi could have ended maybe 5 rounds or less. You know what I mean? 6 rounds or less. You know, had Garcia really got aggressive there, or threw more solid punches rather than defensive. You know, he should have been rather more offensive, and I think that's what Angel Garcia, his father, wanted to do. He wanted Garcia to be more offensive than defensive. But his son knows. His son was the one that's in the ring. His son was the one fighting Malignaggi, so he knew to take his time. You know, one round at a time. So he got the W, and like I said, Mercante did a good job of stopping the fight because Malignaggi was just gonna get. I mean, Malignaggi was getting hits. Almost every other punch that Garcia threw, it lands. You know, you guys seen the reason why Malignaggi is below the right eye, it was all cut up, is because of his jabs. It was only jabs, left hand jabs of Garcia, and that created that big cut. And that should have been stopped on an 8 at least. You know what I mean? You know, when they asked Paulie Malignaggi, hey, can you continue, stuff like that, whatever, they should have been stopped right there. And they should have never let him continue. But yeah, had the referee didn't stop the fight, it would have been a knockout anyways. You know, I think Malignaggi would have been in more trouble there, and would have been carried out instead of walking out of the ring. But anyways, there you go, guys. Danny Garcia's the fresh blood at welterweight, first audition. You know, let me know what you guys think. Is he ready for somebody like Keith Thurman? He won victoriously against tonight via TKO stoppage, and that we're gonna see more of him. Maybe later on this year or early next year. And a lot of solid fighters out there at 147, and we hope to see Garcia do good. And like I said, a lot of 147 fighters right now are eyeballing him. Oh man, they want to take that undefeated record off of him. I can see Thurman already. I mean, you know, but that'll be a good fight. I mean, if it happens, it happens. You know, if Garcia decides to fight Thurman, or Al Heyman makes that fight happen, Thurman versus Garcia, and you know, it'll be a good fight. It'll be a great fight. Obviously, you know, Garcia now at what, 31-0, and Keith Thurman's what, 28, 29, something like that. Can't even remember. But they're both undefeated fighters. They've never been knocked down in their whole time career. So none of these fighters have been knocked down. None of these fighters ever lost. So that's a talk. Let me know what you guys think. As always, please leave comments and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.